Hello and welcome to another episode of ommmsome Life Design Podcast. And today I'm so grateful to bring you an amazing guest who is an author of the book. I'll show you the book. Die with Zero. So I listened to it on Audible. You can get it anywhere on Amazon. Easy order. Why? Because it gives you perspective. He talks about money. He talks about death. Two very, very serious topics. And it involves health. It involves your life. So dying with zero, his concept is about dying with $0 left. So you haven't been saving and just living like this in a fear-based mode, but you've been spending it on experiences, on memories that you can later on in your life remember. And I know it sounds like, oh yeah, but that's what everyone says. But have you actually sat down and written, look at this, that's my lifeline from I'm 32 now till I'm thinking around 100. And written down I just started writing down some of my experiences and then asking yourself a question, okay, in which timeline can this go? Like from now, from 30 to 40, yeah, probably I can climb a mountain, but if I'm 80, I can't do that anymore, right? So it gives you these perspectives of wait. Oh, I have to do some things now. I have to go and spend that time with my grandma and maybe gather the whole family together because they are about to die. They're very, very old. So it's beautiful because it made me think so much and reflect. And also I've been going through death meditations when in India studying yoga and meditation. And then I've also done, my life has been all about experiences. Wherever I moved, I was like, okay, I can live in Luxembourg. Okay, Paris is close. I can see the Eiffel Tower. Oh, I can go to Brussels. I always lived about experiences. And now and then I forget it. And then my life becomes like, oh, I don't know. I'm not too excited anymore. And this was, again, a reminder of okay, what at this point in my life, what is the priority? If I have that many hours to live, if I earn this much, do I really want that house that would take if this is my life, would take half of this to work for it? I don't think so anymore. I'd rather buy the big family table and invite everyone over for a dinner. So priorities, perspectives, it does change it. So Bill Perkins is an amazing author, and he's a very inspirational person. This is some questions about life, we talked about homeschooling, we talked about his inner circle, about his experiences and how he views life. Your chance to get him know a little bit better. And if you want to journal with me about this next week on Tuesday on my journaling group on Facebook, we're doing this, and I think we'll do it for next week and the week after. So like a bucket list, but with your timeline and putting things in there, so getting nice perspective. So just email to ommmsome@gmail.com, ask me and I will add you to the group, or just get in touch with me on Instagram and I'll share the information with you there as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bill, again, and enjoy the podcast. You can find Bill on Instagram, Bill Perkins, and just follow him there, or also on Twitter, and check out his book, Audible. 3 seconds and the book is yours, and then you need another 5 hours to listen and then some hours to write about your life. So yeah, enjoy. Super. Well, thank you so much for saying yes to ommmsome podcast. Okay. It was amazing to see you on Gary Vee. And when I heard your story, I was like, oh, that guy is telling about the life that I'm living, and he's written a book about it.
No, that's good.
Yeah. And I was just listening to your audiobook, and man, I admire you, because those two topics, it's money and death. I mean, that's heavy.
Yeah. But you don't want to, if you stick your head in the sand about it, you're just kind of not getting everything you can out of this ride,
Yeah.
And it's a ride and it ends. So I think a lot of people just want to go, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to be aware in a visceral way that not only do I die, but I decay. And so they live suboptimally.
Yeah. So how many hours have you got till you die? Or do you do hours, or do you do days?
I do all the way down to the millisecond, but
oh my gosh,
it's only an estimate. The millisecond is useless, but it says 12,914 6 hours 5 minutes. But based on what I put it in.
Yeah, because you know what? When I heard that on your book, I have a little vision board things here on my altar, and I have one of them is 6,000. 613 200,000 hours to live, because I did like maybe till 120, if maybe,
Yeah.
that happens, since I believe in biohacking and all that. And
Right.
it made so much sense when I did that. And then I was like, okay, what's the money that I could earn? And if I want this house, like, do I want to spend that many hours on that? I'm like, I don't think so anymore.
Yeah, you start thinking about that. I mean, the whole hours concept in your life, like I said in the book, Your Money or Your Life was the book that like kind of just cracked my head open to that. And then I took it, a step further in a little bit different direction from just, hey, I want to, that book is kind of like, hey, you can be independent and here's how you get there, right? But it was more of a goal setting book as opposed to a life modeling book. And my book is more a life modeling book, right? It's about modeling your life from wherever you are right now to the grave.
It sounds so harsh as well. How do people perceive you when you say that, like modeling your life till your grave?
Yeah, till you're dead. A lot of people like they think it's morbid, like etc. But like if you were on vacation and it never ends, you freaking sleep in, you do whatever, blah blah blah. But when you know something's going to end, and I talk about this in the book, like you actually, it gives a sense of urgency, and you actually do shit and do things and take action and plan and have an experience, right? But when you stick your head in the ground like, oh, I'm never going to graduate college, I'm just going to loaf around and I'm never going into the job market, then you don't plan, you don't do these things, and then you just have that much less of a fulfilling life. Right?
How do you balance between, urgency for many people is like anxiety, some people might get anxious if you tell them like, oh my gosh, you have that many hours to live, and they'll get anxious, but I think that urgency to live, that's a little bit,
whenever I feel overwhelmed, I start like writing it down and time bucketing, and it's not, the clutter starts to go away because you have this like, oh, I want to do that, and you have all these things, right? And they're not organized, and it's like walking into a room and it's just a mess. Clothes are everywhere, blah blah blah. When you start like writing them down, like I don't need this, I throw this away, you organize it, whatever. I think the anxiety tends to go down, right? Like trying to do it all in your head is beyond the capabilities of our brain. So writing it down and like you have a vision board or putting it out, I think that reduces anxiety. But just like say the words and you're like, 12,000 hours, what am I going to do? It's like, well, you're going to have a really, really, really full life if and when you map it out. Like my problem, and I think other people have this problem, is like when I go into my time bucketing exercise where I'm like, okay, the experiences I want to have from 50 to 55 or 56. The problem I have is thinking of things, right? And what do I really want? So I have to like get rid of the distractions and think about what I really want. And it's like, wow, that looks pretty empty. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, oh, well, let's go down a level. How many times, even mundane things, like how many times do you want to go to the gym? Or how many times do you want to go to whatever, and filling it up. And then I get ideas, and I know that, life is discovery. You don't know what you want, you discover what you want. Right. And so I know the things that I want, I've discovered. Right. And now I'm like, okay, I want to do those things. So I know some of those things will come along the time. And this is always a work in progress that I'm going to constantly update it and take things off, add things on, etc. So just knowing that gives me a sense of calm, and I'll get there. But the real thing is that if you're just taking even 10% of these steps, you're going to have that much more fulfilling of a life.
How often do you do the journaling practice, the timeline? How do you practice this for your life, and how often do you update? And like, is it a daily practice, or do you like spend a day every month or every 6 months?
I am not the best student of my own work, but
but you have the method.
But I have the method, and I've been working on tools. But I think I want to, like, if I were when I do it, it's like tiny steps. Just stick with one period and then go, come back to other periods. And if it comes to you, you have an internal prompt like of something and you want to put it down, go down, right? But stick to like a few things, and I would do it like once a month, whatever frequency that allows you to be consistent, that's what you should do. Don't pick a frequency that you're going to be disappointed and then you missed it and then you're down on yourself and then you don't do it and then you just forget it because it's too hard, right? It's like pick a frequency that you know you can do that allows you to be consistency, and that allows you to be consistent, and that consistency will get you there. Next thing you know,
Mm.
you got this full vision board, like all mapped out
Yeah.
and all these things. And then you have your 10% or 20% potluck bucket. There's something going in here. I don't know what it is. I'm going to discover it. It's called discovery and random interactions, right? And that's how you get there.
Mhm.
Small steps towards your goal, small, easy steps towards your goal. So if you're a professional writer might be able to do it every day or every week or whatever. If you're just very busy person with 2 kids and running
Mm.
around and job and stuff like that, it might be once a month, might be once every 90 days, But either way, just getting it down and getting yourself in that mindset will and being consistent. You're already light years better than everybody else who's on autopilot.